In a village nestled between green hills and a deep forest, life was simple and peaceful. The sun would rise, birds would sing, and the villagers would go about their days. But for many, including a kind and curious young man named Adam, there was a sense of something missing, a quiet longing for something more. Adam was always asking questions, listening to the elders' stories, trying to understand the deeper meaning of life and find what true happiness really meant. One afternoon, while exploring an old, forgotten house at the village edge, Adam stumbled upon a dusty wooden box. He blew the dust off and opened it. Inside, nestled amongst old trinkets, was a rolled-up map. The parchment was brittle with age, covered in strange symbols. But one sentence was perfectly clear. The hidden treasure of wisdom lies beyond fear. A shiver of both fear and excitement ran through Adam. People always talked about treasures of gold and jewels, but a treasure of wisdom. This was something else entirely. This was the answer he had been looking for. He made a decision. He would follow the map. After packing some food, water, and carefully placing the map in his bag, he said a heartfelt goodbye to his family and set off on his journey, his heart pounding with anticipation. The map first led him into the deep forest. The trees were so tall and dense they blotted out the sun, casting long, eerie shadows on the path. Strange noises echoed through the quiet woods, a rustling in the bushes, the snap of a twig, the distant hoot of an owl. Fear began to creep into Adam's heart, and the thought of turning back to the safety of his village was tempting. But then he remembered the words on the map, "Beyond fear." He took a deep breath, tightened his grip on his walking stick, and pushed forward one step at a time. Deeper in the forest, where the path was almost invisible, he met an old woman sitting by a stream. Her eyes were as bright and clear as the water, and a kind smile graced her lips. As if she knew what he was searching for, she said, "The journey you are on is a noble one, young man. But remember, wisdom is not found in gold or silver." She offered him a piece of her bread and shared some advice. "To find what you seek," she said gently, "you must learn to listen more and speak less. Every day is a chance to learn something new, from the smallest insect to the tallest tree. Keep your heart open." Adam thanked her, and her words echoed in his mind as he continued his journey, feeling a little less afraid and a little more prepared. After leaving the forest, the map guided him towards a towering mountain. The path was steep and rugged, a winding trail of loose rocks and sharp inclines. His legs ached, and his breath came in ragged gasps. Several times he stumbled, his muscles screaming in protest. The climb seemed endless, pushing him to the very limit of his endurance. But with every step upward, he felt a growing sense of determination. Finally, exhausted but triumphant, he reached the summit. And the view was breathtaking. He could see for miles in every direction. The vast world stretched out before him, a beautiful tapestry of colors and shapes. From this height, his village looked like a tiny, peaceful speck. All the worries and problems that had seemed so big back home now felt insignificant, small. He realized that changing your perspective can change everything. The physical climb had given him a new mental clarity. Following the final stretch of the map, Adam arrived at a small, hidden cave at the base of the mountain's other side. His heart hammered against his ribs. This was it. Inside the dimly lit cave, he found an old wooden chest, just as the map had promised. It was locked, but the key was resting right on top. With trembling hands, he turned the key, the click echoing in the silence. He lifted the heavy lid, his eyes wide with anticipation, ready to see the treasure he had risked everything for. But the chest was empty. There was nothing inside but the faint smell of old wood. A wave of disappointment, then anger, then deep sadness washed over him. He had come all this way, faced his fears, pushed his body to its limits, all for an empty box. He sank to the ground, feeling defeated. Was this all a cruel joke? He sat there for a long time, the silence of the cave pressing in on him. And then, slowly, a realization began to dawn. He thought about his journey. He remembered the fear he felt in the dark forest and how he walked through it anyway. He remembered the kind words of the wise old woman and the peace they brought him. He remembered the struggle of climbing the mountain and the incredible clarity he felt at the top. The journey itself had changed him. He was no longer the same confused young man who had left the village. He was calmer, he was stronger, he was wiser. The anger and disappointment faded away, replaced by a profound sense of peace. He finally understood the treasure wasn't a thing to be found in a chest. The real treasure was the wisdom he had gained, the strength he had discovered, the person he had become along the way. The treasure was inside him all along. With a light heart and a genuine smile, Adam began his journey home. When he walked back into his village, everything looked the same. The hills were just as green, the forest just as deep. But Adam was different. He no longer felt that something was missing. He started sharing the stories of his journey, not as a hero, but as a friend. He listened more intently to the villagers' own stories, understanding their hopes and fears in a way he never could before. He offered help where he could, sharing the simple wisdom he had learned. The village hadn't changed, but because Adam had changed, his entire world felt new and full of purpose, and that he knew made all the difference. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the journey within. See you next time.